Sergio Perez's crash in his first flying lap around Budapest has prompted me to make this video on why Formula One drivers need coaches. I've been wanting to make this video for many years, and it goes back to 2015 when I first saw this really start to happen in Formula One. So strap yourself in, this is going to be a long one. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Martin and I started racing when I was 12. In the sim world, I've raced and beaten some of the best drivers in Australia. I worked as a driver and performance engineer in Formula 3, and I developed my own race strategy simulation software for Formula 1. I raced in KZ2 at the highest level and got pole position in my first ever race. I specialize in the open formula category and now have my own course and website where I can share my 20 plus years of driving experience with you, which I'll put a link to in the description below. Now, I learned this lesson in my very first lap in a go-kart. I was with my friend. He was lending me a go of his go-kart. And I asked him, I said, so which of the corners that are flat? Like, just tell me so I know and I can just take them flat. So he said, turn 1 is flat and turn 4 and 5, this sort of fast left-right section, they're also flat as well. So feel free to take them flat. And I said, okay, cool. Thank you. So my first ever lap out of the pits in this go-kart, my first ever lap in a go-kart, I went through turn 1. Obviously, I bypassed turn 1 because I came out of the pit lane, went through turns 2, 3, and then I remembered he said this section was flat. So I kept my foot flat, turned in and spun the go-kart, ended up in the gravel, and my confidence was just like, and I was like, but he told me it was flat, but I had no concept or understanding of what you're supposed to be doing on your first lap. And it appears as though Sergio Perez does not either. Now you might say, oh, that's really easy for me to say here, sitting in at home in my chair, but when you're under that much pressure, no. I've been a driver, I've been a coach. This is a fundamental lack of understanding. And I teach this specific thing in my professionals course. So those that have access to my professionals course, they will know this already, right? This is a mentality, mindset, awareness, pressure, capacity issue that Sergio has here and needs to work on, right? So whenever I talk about learning a new track from scratch or starting a race weekend, for example, and this is why Monaco is my favorite circuit, because Monaco teaches you to build up to a weekend and go out and gain information, then that is exactly what I teach. You go out there to gain information, gain understanding, gain knowledge, build confidence, right? Understand the track condition, understand the tires, understand how much grip. There's so much knowledge that comes your way on a first lap that it does not make any sense at all for you to be out where Sergio was spinning, crashing in free practice 1, sorry. So you're out there to gain information. You're just out there to learn. The race is not won, on the first lap on a dusty track in free practice 1, right? There is absolutely no point putting it in the wall. Your confidence gets damaged. You look like a clown. The team have to make repairs. It's expensive. You put your own life at risk as well, having an accident. So why? For what? All for what, right? Now, it goes a few levels deeper than that, right? Now, Formula One drivers are extremely, extremely arrogant, hard-headed people, right? It's part of the nature, like to get to that level, you have to think and believe that you're the best. Now, that's fine. You need that fire, right, to get you there. But you also need to be open-minded and say, okay, fine, I'm good, but how can I be better? Who can make me better? What sort of people around me do I need? What sort of coaches do I need to really direct me in the right place, right? Now, if Roger Federer is not too good, right? Roger Federer has won 20 Grand Slam titles. If he's not too good to have a coach, then you're not either. And Sergio Perez is not either, right? Sergio Perez has won a few races, right? So Roger Federer didn't only have one coach, he had 3, right? So he had Pierre, his fitness coach. He had Ivan Lubicic, who is famous for working on his backhand, right? So he had a coach for one shot only for his backhand. And then he had Severin Luthi. I'm not sure what Severin's role was, but he had 3 coaches, right? And if he's not too good to have a coach or 3 coaches, as I say, you're not too good either. And this is where I really think Nico Rosberg was excellent and really pioneered and paved the way for being open-minded professional, working on everything. How can I get better starts? How can I lose weight? How do I need to interpret the data better? How can I sleep better? How can I make sure I'm not jet lagged? How can I improve my gloves so I can feel things more? How can I be better? How can I be better? How can I be better? That open mindedness gave Nico Rosberg his first Formula One World Championship. And this is a skill that Sergio Perez needs to develop. Free practice one, it's just about getting the information, building confidence, and going through a checklist. Now, this is where a driver coach is valuable because you'll say, okay, Sergio, this is what we're trying to do in this session. We need to understand this. We need to get 10 laps in here. We need to check this tire. We've got aero checks to do. We want to get a fuel rate. We want to do this. Like, these are the goals and objectives for this session. This is what we want to achieve in this session. And therefore, going out and sticking it in the wall like negates all of that, right? Now, a driver coach is different to a performance engineer. I've been a performance engineer. I am an engineer myself. I know how engineers can be. They can be a little bit geeky. And if they haven't got like even any driving experience, even if they're quick in a simulator, that is helpful because they can relate to the driver. So what I'm trying to say is that engineers can be a little bit analysis paralysis, like too much into the detail. And so a performance engineer is really not that helpful in my opinion. Can be helpful in some situations, but not helpful in my opinion. What you need is a driver coach to really keep you straight and point you in the right direction. Now, go back to have a look at Daniel Ricciardo, for example, in those tough McLaren years. I'm sure he had heaps of performance engineers around him saying, oh, Lando's doing this, you need to do this, you know, this is what the data is showing, blah, 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 blah. He would have said, okay. So I'm sure he went down the performance engineer path. I'm not sure if he went down the I need a driver coach path, right? And it's slightly different, right? So you need a coach. You need 3 coaches, right? You need a technical coach, you need a mental coach, and you need a physical coach. These are the 3 areas of coaching that all of the drivers should have at least 3 coaches. Again, technical, mental, physical. Technical, obviously working on your technique. Mental, your mindset, your mentality, your approach, your presence, your awareness, your capacity, your memory, all of these things that for those that have my professional course will know. And physical, obviously making sure you're in shape, you're healthy, all your muscles working, no cramps, no aches, all that sort of thing, right? Now, who remembers in 2015, free practice one, when Max Verstappen crashed in Monaco and went on to crash 3 times that weekend? Now, is Max a bad driver? No. Could Max have used some guidance at that time? Yes, absolutely. This is again why I say Monaco is my favorite track. It punishes you for not putting together a weekend. Monaco is not won on Sunday. Monaco is actually won doing your homework correctly. Practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, and qualifying. That's where Monaco is won. If you can just build up to it, you will win on Sunday. A lot of people think I need to go out there, I need to do a good lap, I need to impress, blah, blah, blah. No one cares if you're fastest in free practice 1. Like, no one cares. It's practice, right? If you're 1 second off your teammate in practice 1, awesome. You've still got all the information, you've still got all the knowledge, you're still alive, the weekend is still on, you're in a really good position. Like, how many times do you see a true professional like Fernando Alonso in the wall first lap in practice? Like, he's too smart for that, right? But there are a lot of drivers on the grid who do need a driver coach. So I thought I'd make this video to share that with you. Again, for those that have my professionals course, we have a whole mental section on this. And yeah, it just goes to show the importance of having a coach, what Nico Rosberg did well, what Roger Federer did so well. And yeah, another driver that really probably needs a coach, I would say, is Carlos Sainz. Why? He was another one that spun or crashed in this session, caused a red flag. It looked like a clown. And he's done this before in Monaco this year. I think he crashed in Monaco in practice 1. You crash in Monaco in practice 1, you're not going to win. You lack maturity. You need mental clarity. You need a driver coach. So I hope this video helps you, and I'll see you in the next one.